Figleaves is 21 this year, very very soon, and certainly my kind of view of it, and probably yours as well, is that when Figleaves was first founded, it was a very sort of forward-thinking company with data at the heart of what we were doing, so CRM data or sizing data. They really found a niche in the market because of the complexity of the kind of product that we sell. We sell lingerie and swimwear. We sell bra size or cup size lingerie and swimwear, which on an average product means 32 average sizes across 5 different colorways, which means you've got sort of 200 SKUs per style, which gets very complicated very, very, very quickly. And one of the reasons why lingerie works so well online is because it's incredibly difficult to do from kind of a merchandising perspective. It's very difficult to do in physical stores. So data has been kind of at the heart of the kind of development of Figleaves, 20 years ago, kind of knowing that kind of complex elements of the product. I think with the relationship that we're building with Avora now, that we're kind of putting data back at the heart of the business and how we think it can evolve.
Yeah, and I'd add on top of that we also want to bring the customer and sort of the market view into that as well. So we know that within a particular size curve, the different customer segments will buy in and perform differently there, and likewise between our US and UK businesses, again we'll see maybe a different distribution of sales across a particular brand or product there. So being able to bring all those data sets together and then put that particular view and that particular insight in the hands of like a particular employee to help them make those data-driven decisions means we can really leverage the expertise of that employee rather than them having to spend a long time manually pulling together complex data sets.
Yeah, the thing we're looking for Avora to solve for us is the ability to get at all these disparate sets of data, whether it's marketing data or product data or any kind of sort of stock and merchandising data, and really utilise that data set to help drive our trading team. So within the business over the last couple of years, we've reorganised and sort of restructured our business to really bring together kind of cross-functional teams. So we've got a merchandising team that sit alongside the marketing team, and some of the front end sort of visual merchandisers on the side, and they work collaboratively together to and invest their time in trying to drive better sort of trade goals. And we need the data that they look at to kind of reflect their kind of cross-departmental view, which meant that we needed to bring marketing data and merchandising data together, and that was really, really hard. They exist in very different places. So Avora was a solution that allowed us to do that very quickly and to find insight quickly from that kind of amalgamation of data. And I think that the ability to kind of lift and shift data was one thing, but also the speed with which we could do that and the kind of setup that Avora had was very attractive to us.
Yeah, and I think from a technical point of view, it's really important that we could consume and process and make that data available in a much more timely fashion than we can at the moment. So, being able to present that on a daily view or even an intraday view, and have that sort of straight in the hands of the business users rather than waiting for a system to do a sort of weekly roll-up of data and present that was really important to us.
Yeah, so when we were looking at different types of solution and we came across Avora, one of the things we were very conscious of was that we weren't just looking for an ETL that would kind of collate all this information for us from these various different data sets. And we weren't just looking for kind of a backlog, if you like, of dashboards that we could create, not like 20 dashboards, and that would be the kind of outcome of the project. What we wanted to do was, yes, get all of our data into one place, but really we wanted to get that data in one place so that we could then share it with the broad set of our teams. I think it's really important to us that we can utilise the extremely skilled people that we've got throughout the business, and give them the asset of the data and let them go on kind of exploratory journeys with that data to refine our understanding of trading or product and merchandising mix or kind of different marketing KPIs. So the end goal for us is to democratise the data and give that as an asset to the whole business and let them go at it. and not have them sort of sitting there just trying to compile the data. So, you know, a lot of you know, the other businesses we talk to, you know, aside from Avora, they would have got us a bit of the way there, but they wouldn't have allowed us to get to the point where we could enable my colleagues to just explore that data and to kind of drill down and drill down and drill down. And importantly, to be able to do that in a really performant way, at speed, so that you can actually answer questions in trading meetings. So yeah, insight gathering is what we believe we're going to get from this.
Yeah. And I think our hope from some sort of maybe the machine learning and AI type capabilities we understand Avora has is really to help us with sort of things like anomaly detection and time to insight being, you know, potentially sped up. And we've got to, you know, this is still evolving. Like, we've got to experiment with this and see how it helps you in the business. So, you know, we don't think it's just going to be there on day one, but sort of some of the experience I've had maybe on a more application monitoring side rather than like a marketing side is to say, you know, if the CPU of this server is running really high, what's the underlying problem that's driving that? Maybe, you know, we've got a slow API over here, or we've got a network issue, or we're running out of disk space. But actually, it takes IT support teams quite a long time to necessarily understand that. And if technology can bring that root cause insight up quickly and sort of really like alert or highlight what's driving the underlying root cause of the problem, we hope that we can apply that same sort of approach to things like marketing optimization. So if we see, you know, like conversion either positively or negatively change, or average order value, or some of those really sort of top line marketing drivers, or sort of business performance metrics, we can then drill into those and hopefully have some of this technology like bring up the root cause, like sort of contributor to that change in a really quick way, so it doesn't take us as long to understand the underlying, you know, behaviour that's happening within the data, and then we can make quicker decisions.
You know, we do loads and loads of stuff with influencers and bloggers and what have you, and at certain key points in the year, you know, a big influencer might, you know, wear one of our products, and we'll see sales just uptick, and she might do that without us knowing that. And so we've had sort of situations in the past where we've just seen the numbers run away, like, what's going on there? And if root cause analysis could kind of show us that actually we've got a whole ton of traffic coming from direct or coming from a particular YouTube link or whatever it might be, and we can kind of see that in the moment, then we'll do something around that particular product. You know, we'll look at the price, or we'll look at whether we can, you know, get more visibility for it by kind of prompting it through our own social channels. And equally, you know, day by day or even intraday, you know, we're running campaigns through paid shopping, as many retailers are, and paid shopping is a very kind of commodified space. So what competitors are doing with their pricing has a direct impact on the you know, our cost per click and the amount of traffic that we're achieving through some of our kind of product ads in Google Shopping. And so understanding kind of price variations and how they then impact, you know, traffic into a particular brand, you know, after the fact is quite easy, but actually when you're kind of looking at the kind of aggregate data and you're kind of going, well, why have sales in such and such a brand just sort of fallen off a cliff? It takes you quite a long time to kind of work out, you know, what that initial reason was, and we're kind of hoping that by bringing all this kind of data into one place, the root cause analysis will get us to that answer faster. We have quite a lot of, I mean, I guess most retailers have quite a lot of experience now of beginning to see kind of root cause analysis coming through on some of the tools they're using. So, you know, there are bits and pieces of it in Google Analytics, there are bits and pieces of it in sort of the Facebook CMS as well. And it's quite easy to kind of ignore those because they only see sort of part of the picture. They're not often that helpful, and we're very, very early on in the stage of using these kind of tools. And I think that one of the things I'm quite keen to understand is how useful can these tools be. And with Avora, because we'll have the wide sweep of our data in it, I think there's an awful lot that we'll be able to get out from it, and we'll be able to understand how to use those tools in a more meaningful fashion.
Yeah. I mean, we sometimes within Figleaves we use a little phrase called like sort of developing a muscle or exercising a muscle, and it feels like this is it's one of those things. We know we've got to begin the journey and like start to adopt it in our ways of working within different teams, and then we'll learn what works and what doesn't work and how to like sort of put that into day-to-day business operation. But if you don't start to adopt it and start to embed it into those departments and processes, it's just a technology thing on the side, and it's not actually serving any business purpose. So we sort of, I think that's a good summary, is we're beginning to develop and exercise that muscle and use it within, you know, our day-to-day business processes. So a couple of the points that we looked at whilst we were evaluating solutions and sort of looking at Avora and some like other competitor providers were around the connectors. So the way that we sort of pull data in from those various data sources like Google and Facebook and our marketing partners and our on-premise systems. And in those conversations, it became apparent that like developing and maintaining those connectors is quite a significant undertaking and overhead, and something that for a sort of team of our size, it didn't really represent value for us to develop and maintain those ongoing, because they're just pulling in data into the data warehouse. So the fact that you get the economies of scale from Avora maintaining those connectors for all of their customers, and then we can just benefit from them being maintained and kept up to date, made a lot of sense for Figleaves, and to be able to access those connectors. Another really interesting point, that once the data's pulled into that data warehouse platform and technology, it's really attractive for us that we can it's portable and it can come out, and you're still creating that data asset that Figleaves really owns, because that's where the real value is we're collecting our customer information, we're understanding our product information in a sort of richer and richer way, but we don't want to be too locked into any particular platform. One of our hopes is to be able to put that data in the hands of sort of really smart, intelligent data scientist resource that can find new insight and value in that data. And that was really challenging for us to do that with our current platform and systems, because it takes a long time for us to sort of create the access or create an export or create a feed. So within the wider M Brown group that we're part of, they have a data science function up there that we'd really like to work with more closely, and we're hoping that Avora is going to enable us to do that in a sort of really efficient and effective way.
We're able to use Avora with external resources in different ways. So, for example, the reporting that we're building, the dashboards that we're building, the way you guys work means that we can share those with our external agencies. We can use those as common sort of data sets and common understanding around KPIs with the variety of different marketing agencies that we have, which is incredibly useful. It's rare that you find a system that you're able to enable access to the wide variety of people that you might want to enable access to, whether they're inside your organisation or not.
So just the basics, that it's web-based, the data's available there, it can be performant, we can control and manage access very simply. They're just simple practical things, but really helps us just remove loads of like lifting and shifting of data sets and administrative stuff around doing that. So